fast can you consume content? Or better yet, how quickly can you scan it? Likely pretty quickly if you're reading. Since most people consume by scanning, not reading, experienced bloggers and website writers understand the need to chunk content into smaller bits. Headings and subheadings, short paragraphs, bullets and lists. They use bold and italics and pictures and diagrams. But what about video? And what about podcasts? Unlike the written word, it's almost impossible to scan a video or podcast and get any value from it. At best, a video scan helps the user find their place. At worst, it's an exercise in frustration. But does it have to be such a low-value experience? Is there a way to impregnate your video or podcast with value, knowing full well that the user might merely be a scanner? Here are 6 ways to do it. The first is an agenda, right at the beginning. Ensure the user knows what the video or podcast contains, either by saying it or using a background or overlay. If they know the order of the content, they may be able to skip to the most relevant parts more efficiently. The second technique is a summary. Like an agenda, a summary near the beginning and the end of the video means that the user is more likely to be exposed to the entire message. A bulleted list with audio, an overlay, or even a spoken word summary can do this. The third technique is the lower third overlay. For videos, identify sections of the video by using an overlay that stays on the lower portion of the screen for a longer period of time. When a user scans through the video, a shorter overlay may not actually be seen. The fourth is to use quality metadata. Conventional wisdom now suggests using keywords within the metadata to aid in searches. The metadata, which is really just another word for a description and summary, can also include the start time for each major section of the video or podcast, thereby allowing the user to directly navigate to the most relevant content. The fifth technique is multiple call to actions. To improve the likelihood that the viewer will actually do something, you cannot count on them getting to the end of the video or podcast to see or hear the call to action. Instead, share the call to action several times throughout the clip using several different techniques, verbally or with a scene change or with an overlay. The sixth technique is to separate segments. Sometimes the reason for scanning a video can be traced back to a mismatch between the goal of the user, I want a quick overview, or I want a specific piece of information, and the goal of the video or podcast producer. This is an interview format, or this is a recording of an event. Consider producing several versions, all with the same goal but in different lengths. A 60-second quick hit, a 3-minute key points, 10-minute summary, and a 60-minute deep dive. In this way, hopefully, the user will choose a format that does not require scanning. In the case of this podcast, for example, the idea is to provide a key insight in a 3 to 5 minute block. So here's your challenge. While these suggestions might help you while wearing your producer's hat, what if you're the video or podcast consumer? How can you quickly scan important video content? Here's one idea that might help. Look for the video or podcast speed controls to hurry up the playback. YouTube has this setting hidden under the gear settings icon just under the video, and most podcast players have similar functionality. I'm Randall Craig, and I hope this got you thinking, and if it resonates, let me know why, and if I can help, reach out at www.randallcraig.com.